Hey, how's it going? This is the day before the Spartan Race Killington Beast. I'm pretty hyped. For this one, everyone says that the Spartan Race Beast at Killington is like the hardest out of all the beasts, so I'm super excited to take it on. I've been training all summer for this race. I'm not too nervous for it. I'm just excited to do it. I guess my big goal is I want to finish in under 8 hours. I think that's being really generous. It'll probably take me longer, but I have to prepare for the ultra coming up at the end of the year. Yeah, I'm not too nervous for the race. I'm just excited to get out there and see what I can do and see if it's really the hardest race out there. Alright, I wanted to go over real quick what I take at most of my Spartan races. So I have my Camelback here. I always fill the main pouch up with water. Then I also have these secondary little neoprenes that I fill up with the liquid IV. I think it's good to kind of switch it up, not just have water. You need the electrolytes because you sweat so much salt out. I also have goos that are great to take every 45 minutes, as well as a honey stinger to get some protein. I also have salt tablets just in case you feel a cramp coming on. It's always good to have just a little sunscreen because last thing you want to do is get burned. So I love the mineral stuff. I'll just coat this all over me. Have the gloves just in case I need them. I also have an extra pair of sunglasses. Glasses are known to break. I've seen people take their good prescriptions and get broken on the course, so be wary of that. And then I also have one of these waterproof cases that I like to put my phone, credit card, and ID, so I just have it on me and I don't have to worry about buying a locker. And
rules you can muster up, so let's do it. Spartans, what is your profession? Let's go!
Okay. Alright, we made it to mile 3. So far it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, even though I'm huffing and puffing, but there's a lot more to come. Alright, we survived the death march and I was able to beat it without taking a single break, but I was going as slow as a snail. I literally saw a caterpillar going faster than me up the hill, but that was a big accomplishment for me. I'll keep on moving. mud. Yeah. I made it to mile 11 and my soul is just crushed. The hills are getting to me, but I know we're so close to finishing. Almost there. I beat the Killington Beast, and I earned my times 2 for beating the Vernon Beast and some other races. Sorry, I'm a little out of it. The Killington race definitely was the most challenging race I've done. The Vernon doesn't compare too much to it. I know about mile 7, I was like, oh, this is good. I was feeling really, really good. And then the last, once you got to mile 10 through 13, it was just straight hills again, just as bad as the Death March. And I was like a caterpillar. I was just like inching, doof, doof, taking one step at a time. It was so challenging. And what really sealed the deal was at the end, they have the sandbag carry up a hill. I didn't give up, but I was like, I had to take so many breaks. Yeah, it one last thing is I was able to beat this one in 7 hours and 23 minutes, which the Vernon Beast took me 6 hours and 45 minutes. So I'm slowly getting closer to be able to get my goal of doing the ultra this year. I'm gonna try it at South Carolina. I just wanted to see if I had a good time, and honestly that time's not bad considering how much more hills there are here and how much incline and decline. It really makes a difference when you're out here running the courses. So I think my time improved a lot. I also felt like this race was just a little easier for me. Like, it was still difficult, but since I did the Vernon one, I lost almost 20 pounds and my training has been really good. So I just felt better on this race than the Vernon, but it was still very, very difficult. I'm so glad I was able to beat it.